Joe, what did you like about DHing Gardner for the first game?
Well, I'm not going to play him in the field both games. I'm not going to play Jake after what he came off of yesterday. So Girardi will play center the second game, and that way you're not running him into the ground.
Confident Ellsbury's okay, or do you still need
Yeah, I saw him. He said he felt good, and so we'll try to get the one game out of him today.
Will Ichiro play game 2?
Yes, he will.
And is Betances available today?
No.
Do you feel a little better about your bullpen as a whole, even though there are 2 games, knowing you have that off day tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, that makes it better because when you're playing multiple days in a row after a double header, it's kind of tough because you know you're going to have to get some innings out of your bullpen. So I do feel better that we have an off day tomorrow.
Danny, Wally.
You start today in first place or tied for first place. Does it feel like it?
It's, obviously you pay attention to what the other teams are doing, but it's awful early to be thinking, what do we played, 41 games or something? Yeah. We only have 121 to go, so it's too early to think about that.
Wally.
Joe, 2 things. First of all, I assume Jeter wouldn't play the second game today?
That's probably a pretty good assumption.
Pretty good assumption, right? And I wasn't here yesterday on the CC stuff. I just wanted to ask you, is he with the team at this point?
He will be here today.
He will be
He
here
flew
today.
back yesterday, Wally.
He flew back from
Wherever he had the procedure, I'm not sure.
with Andrews?
Yeah, was it Birmingham or Pensacola?
I got to check. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so he flew back yesterday.
Is there any chance that what he has in his knee could at some point require surgery?
Well, I think anytime you deal with a degenerative knee issue, at some point in your life, something's probably going to flare up. I'm not a doctor, and I can't tell you when that's going to happen. But, it's like when you have degenerative back, eventually it gets to a point where usually you have to have something done. So we'll have to see.
No, well, what I'm asking is from what you've been told, in terms of whatever the diagnosis is that something that's a possibility for this season?
I think I have not been told that, but I think you have to wait to see how all this works.
Barry.
Joe, do you see any patterns developing to the season as you get to the quarter pole, either internally or externally, that has surprised you?
Tommy Johns, how many of those there have been? And I think when you think about what do you see in baseball this year, there's a lot of teams right around 500. There's a lot of parity this year, and I don't know if it's because of some of the injuries that are involved, or it's just there's a lot of parity, and that's probably the most interesting thing to me in the game today.
Joe, do you have any memories as a player or even as a fan of these kind of Sunday doubleheaders, these more traditional doubleheaders, and as a manager or a player, is there anything that you change in the routine on a day like today?
No, I don't. From a major league standpoint, as a kid, I do. Seemed like we always played doubleheaders on Sundays, and in college baseball we did, but not. I don't ever remember those a lot. Maybe I'm just not quite old enough to think about it. As far as changing a routine, the Yankees aren't used to playing regular doubleheaders. They're usually split. And you have to be careful with some of the guys to make sure you don't run them into the ground today.
Meredith?
Joe, the bullpen hit a little bit of a rough patch in the last 2 games, 8 1/3 innings, an ERA just above 1. How impressive have they been the last 2?
Well, I think they've been pretty impressive the whole season. They're going to run into some hiccups just like anybody else where they struggle from time to time. But they've bounced back very nicely for us, have gotten big outs and have been called upon to give us some innings. It's during this little bit of stretch, but it's nice to see.
Surprising, too, where you're getting the contributions from some guys maybe you didn't necessarily expect going in?
Well, I think you need that. Because we do, in a sense, have a fairly young bullpen, so you're going to have to get contributions from some guys that don't have a lot of big league experience, maybe, and are going to have to help because the same guys can't do it every day.
Greg and Anthony.
Joe, you mentioned yesterday Texas great numbers in how few games it's been. In a year without A-Rod and Cano, how critical is it for him to be able to bounce back and be able to continue that type of hitting throughout the year?
Well, I think it's real important, and you don't want to put it all on Tex because other guys obviously have to contribute a lot, but it's such a big bat to have back in your lineup. And anytime you start talking about switch hitters, when you think about how you try to build your club here, a lot of times there's a lot of left-handed hitters in your lineup. It even makes it more important for us, for Tex to stay healthy and be the guy that he's capable of being.
Anthony.
Joe, with you guys going to Wrigley Field this week, for you, what kind of a thing is that, and what kind of memories do you have of playing there and going there as a kid?
Yeah, it's always exciting for me because I have memories going up with my father and my brothers to games as a little boy and rooting for my heroes, realizing a dream, being drafted by the Cubs and playing for them and being a part of a playoff team my first year there. So, I mean, it always has. And I have family there. Family and friends, people that I went to college with. There's still a lot of people around, so I will see them and getting texts from guys that I played baseball with at Northwestern saying we'll be at this game, we'll be at that game, and I always look forward to it.
Who are some of those heroes?
My heroes as a little boy were Ron Santo and Jose Cardinal.
Barry. Doubling down with this one.
Sean Kelly, do you expect him back somewhere towards the end of the road trip? And on Beltran, does he stay home or does he go with you guys?
I expect Sean Kelly, yes, back by the end of the road trip. And I know that Carlos is going to see Dr. Andrews on Tuesday. Players get second opinions, and it's their option. And I'm not sure where he's going after that.
Dan?
The fact that Carlos is going to see Andrews, is that an indication that the improvement has stopped, or?
No, he's getting better, but players sometimes just feel more comfortable with second opinions.
And there's nothing between now and then in terms of injections or cortisone? It's just
He had another injection yesterday, but as far as doing any baseball stuff, we're not there yet.
And that's probably it for the cortisone, right? You can't
I
do more
would
than
I would
two
think
and-
so, yeah.
Dan, Beltran wanted to go see Andrews 4 or 5
that's
days
right.
ago. He was out of town.
For 5
This is
days,
just so
he's
you
been
know,
out
this
of
isn't
town.
a new thing where
Did we know this or I forgot?
I said it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I said we were joking that he was in Italy and some kid knocked on his door and was going to have surgery. But I'm not saying that's where he's at.
and Cashman prior to I'm just giving you clarification. I don't want you to think that this is something new. Yeah. Meredith.
Joe, just following up on that second shot of cortisone, was it not in the right spot exactly the first time, or was it
No,
in
I
the
think
same
they-
exact spot, just another one?
Yeah, I just think they just do it to try to increase the healing process.
Anthony.
Joe, what kind of a reception do you expect at Wrigley? I mean, they obviously courted you. They thought they wanted you to be there.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect. It's always been good. The people of Chicago have always been great to me. So I'm not sure what will happen. We'll just wait and see, I guess.
Dan. Jorge, do you have a question? Yeah, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, Dan.
You talked about feeling good about your bullpen going into today. Do you have enough? Do you feel comfortable about the guys that you have available? And obviously, Nuno's had some issues at the stadium in particular.
Yeah, no, I do. We called up a 26-man in Jose Ramirez. So, I mean, he can give us some couple innings, 35 pitches. He should be able to give us. So, I mean, I think our bullpen, for the most part, is pretty rested, which I haven't been able to say a lot lately. So it should be okay.
And do you have confidence in Vidal just because he's pitching here? Do you
Yeah,
talk
I
to
do.
him
I
about
do.
his approach at the stadium or anything because he's had so many issues?
Yeah, I know. I mean, you look at his last start. His last start, he really struggled. But besides that, he's given us an opportunity to win games. So I do feel good.
Jorge.
Just want to double check. Is Pineda still throwing the bullpen today?
I think he already did it.
Okay.
Yeah.